What is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 787. I am your host, Steve V. On this August summer here, holding down the fort with me, the one and only Cody Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. Doing wonderful in this August summer. It's great.
Exactly. I know. Just got back from a walk with the hubby and ready to go here. It is the end of summer and it's just us as we round out the summer here. And we thought it would be fun to do end of summer Grindr translation game. Cue the music. There you go. Summer is coming to an end. Everybody has been horny, dating, cruising, ghosting. We talked about benching, looking for love, looking for dick, sometimes all before brunch. So today, Cody and I are providing a public service. Welcome to Translate That Grindr Bio. Cue the music now.
It's like the Price is Right music.
Here's the premise. We read an actual bio and you give your translation. I'll give mine. And then we can debate whether we're being cynical or simply this is something that's been experienced. Got it?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Round one. Somebody wrote on their Grindr profile, looking for friends, open to more. Looking for friends, open to more. What would a possible translation be for that, Cody?
I'm looking to hoe until I find the right one.
I'm looking to hoe until I find the right one. That's a really good one. Looking for friends, open to more. Yeah, I think the hole is open and they are a greedy motherfucker and I am not mad at it. Actually, in all seriousness, I like this one because looking for friends could mean a lot of things. We talk a lot about connection on this show, and I think if you kind of go in with that attitude of just being friendly, flirty, could lead to friends with benefits, could lead to an actual friend, and could lead to just friends that are sex buddies, and that's all good too.
Yeah,
I think it's yeah.
It's great. Yeah, I think that if you don't go in with too many expectations, then you're less likely to get disappointed. So I love that. You're just open to make friends. You're looking for friends, but if more happens, then more happens. So I love that. That's the right mindset.
Have you ever genuinely made a friend through Grindr?
Not that I've kept.
Okay,
Wait, let me think. I think I made a friend through Sniffies. Yeah, I've definitely made friends through Sniffies and hooking up just in general. So yeah, I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay, I like that. I couldn't remember when I used Grindr last, but I definitely didn't make any friends. I saw friends on there that I knew that I was already friends with, and they simply said, "Hey, what's up?" That kind of thing. Have you ever hooked up first and become friends afterward?
Yes, I definitely have. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like friend. Yeah, definitely. Acquaintances, friendly with the person. So yeah, I think the answer is yes on that one too.
We have a actual bar friend that we see at the New York Eagle all the time that we hooked up once. This is before I met Diego. Mm-hmm. And it was fine. It was good. And he's become such a good friend to both of us now. In fact, he DMs Diego as much as he does me, and he came to the wedding and it turned into a great friendship. And it was initially a hookup I had like way back when. So I think, it's gays, and I think I call it our superpower. So yeah. Round two, just seeing what's out there. So somebody on Grindr put just seeing what's out there. What would that translate to you? I say I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Expect a lot of ghosting from this one, and they cannot make up their minds. And just see. It sounds like they're looking out into the abyss, like a dark abyss, and it's like very vague, non-committal.
Definitely
you're not going to hear back from them. They're just entertaining they have no intention of ever getting together, is how I see it. What do you say?
Yeah. They're just looking, maybe they have a boyfriend, maybe they have people that they're interested in, but they are not necessarily gonna hook up with you if it comes down to that, because they are just seeing what's around. They're out there just looking, just window shopping. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
They don't
code
have
for
no money to
boredom
buy.
too. Do you ever? It's kind of code for boredom too, because I feel like there's a lot of people. I don't really ever go on my phone and just scroll or do any of that. I think I skip my generation or something.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, although I see some people older than me that fall prey to this, though, there's this older guy I see in the gym all the time. And then you cannot pull his head up from his phone. He's just like glued to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I I
So
do that between sets though. I
okay,
find it's a way for things to, like,
grinder.
for me, Grinder, I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on Sniffies at the gym just to see what's going on, what's around, what's popping, and
Yeah.
just as a way to distract myself from the hard work that I'm putting in at the gym. So, and people really they get upset, and I only take like 2 minutes between each set, and they think I'm on my phone for like hours because,
Yeah,
and they're
people
like,
should chill
"Are
a
you gonna
little
be
bit
done
on
here soon?"
that.
Definitely. So, anyway,
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
Do you do you think apps encourage us to believe someone better is always one square away?
Oh my god,
I
yes.
do think so.
I'm a little bit guilty of that. I've had it happen to me a lot, and I am finding that I'm kind of doing it, but I am also trying to regulate myself as far as that's concerned. I don't think that that's the case. I think that you it's always looks greener on the other side, and you relationships are work, so you should just work with what you have if it still makes you happy.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that it's the grid that makes it always seem that there is somebody on us one square away, but we,
Yeah.
we recently were having fun and going to bring somebody. We were talking to one guy, and
Hmm.
then we saw this other guy that, sorry, was hotter, and we were more into him. And the other guy, the original guy, said, "Are we all going home? Are we all
Steve.
going?" He kept saying, "Are we all going?" And I said, "Not you." I know, but I didn't mean it.
Not
Well, I
you.
just said no. We're not. I mean, we're just no. We're going. And we went home with the other guy. I know that's awful, but so yeah. I mean, it's end of the night. Is that awful? Tell me I'm awful.
Yeah. It's a. I don't want to tell you you're awful because you're my friend, but in front, I'll tell you in private that you're awful.
Okay, okay. It was doesn't happen all the time. It was just
Yeah,
a last minute reboot, redirect, and yeah,
yeah, it happens though.
yeah. I
Just
don't know that
be
he took it
easy on
that
yourself.
bad, but
Forgive
yeah,
yourself. Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
At
got
the end
it.
of the day, you got to make yourself happy.
I'll put on
So.
the Confessions album, and it is slightly my religion right now. So, and I will repent
Oh
listening to
man.
Madonna for the 800th time. Okay, there we go. Round
There
three.
we go. There you go. Your act of contrition.
Act of contrition. Round three. Somebody wrote on their Grinder profile, "Not on here much." That's a translation for, Cody?
He's very busy, and he's got a lot to deal with work. So he doesn't get on the app very often to hook up, which
I
is
don't
fine.
like it. I find
You
it
don't like it?
aloof. I find it a little aloof, and you're basically saying you're not necessarily going to get a response. So for me, it would just be an immediate red flag that I would just keep scrolling past, because not on here much. It's like, yeah, well, then why bother? Like, I feel with anything anybody does, you have to put in some effort. And I like to see effort. People just
Mhm.
trudging through life and, pick up your shoulders, pull your shoulders back, put a little pep in your step when you're walking down,
And
walk with a
commit.
purpose. And not on here much is lazy. I don't like that. Ugh, it just rubs me the wrong way. I would
Well,
next.
well, and not on here much is defense. I have had interactions and encounters with people that actually were like super busy. I hear what you're saying, but I've exchanged numbers with them. They were super hot, by the way. So I put in a little extra effort myself. So we exchanged numbers, and that was a way for us to actually connect. And everything worked out as far as that was concerned. But
if they're super busy, which they
yeah,
could say, not on here much, crazy work time, but need some relief.
yeah,
We'll try and look out for, need some stress, good old stress relief, grab my attention. Something like clever, well, then I would
yeah.
be, this just sounds lazy. I don't like it. And
Okay,
yeah.
I
And
hear
I,
you.
yeah, round four. Somebody wrote on a Grinder profile, no expectations, just vibes. I like that.
Talk about non-committal.
Well, but you see how you change the intonation and the choice of word vibes. I'm just into vibe.
Yeah.
No, I have no expectations being on here, just vibes.
You know what just kind of occurred to me that like how you frame things can turn a certain person off and turn a certain person on. Like we just had the two completely different experiences with two different messages because the first one you didn't like. This one I'm not really rocking with because
And I
just
like it.
vibes. Just vibes sounds to me like I'm fly by night. I'm very flighty and we're just gonna go on
Okay.
vibes. Yeah. It's
That's
like
so
very
that
hippy
is
dippy.
funny. See, that's why
Yeah.
there's 31 flavors at Baskin
Hey,
and
that's
Robbins, right?
right. That's
Because
right.
there's
That's why we can
something.
go out together.
Yeah, right. Yeah, really, if the way you frame something for me, or almost those first few minutes when I meet somebody, when you've ever met some friends of friends and they're introduced, you walk into the group or you walk into a room and they're like, oh my gosh, meet my friend Cody, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And when the person, you get like an actual look in the eye, an actual proper handshake, and it's really nice to meet you, or it's just like, hey, and then they like turn to their friend and start talking. That always rubs me the wrong way because it's
Mhm.
lazy and it's like, no, somebody just introduced me to a person that they wanted me to meet. I am going to look into their eyes and give them that moment. No, they
Yes.
might be an asshole in the end, but I'm going to at least give them, meet them. But if I get that, hey, oh, hey, and then they start talking to their friend, I don't like that. I don't like
Yeah,
that at
that
all.
that is very rude. No
Yeah.
matter who you are or what
Yeah.
perspective you're coming from.
We
I
had a
agree.
moment with, she turned out to be lovely, our Lincoln's friend's birthday. You're super close with her. And I was
Yeah.
trying to fight, Diego and I were trying to fight to say hi to her, and she would not look at in our direction. And she came to the party late, so I feel like, girl, like say hello. And I could not get her attention. Turns out she is really lovely, and maybe she
She's the
just was,
loveliest.
yeah. But that kind of stuff rubs me the wrong way.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, I almost wrote her off, but I like her now. So, I'm really into those kinds of like cues and the way people interact, body
Yeah.
language, all that.
Yeah,
It's
but I'm glad you sometimes you got to give people grace. So but I hear
yeah,
you. I definitely it sometimes it's something and sometimes it's nothing. So I give them
right.
twice.
I'm
Like
happy
if
when
they
it's nothing and it's just
yeah.
like I'm proven wrong, and I was proven wrong. And I actually saw her twice in 1 week, and
Did
because
you?
Lincoln throws like several parties, and so I sat across from her at dinner a few days later,
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
we had a great conversation. We talked all
She's
about Heated
actually
Rivalry, the
the
musical. So yeah,
best.
but round five, looking for something meaningful. So somebody wrote on their Grinder profile, looking for something meaningful. That could be determined
Mhm.
many different ways. I do like, for Grinder, it's kind of interesting because Grinder's kind of hookup-y, right?
Yeah.
Although we've had examples of people meeting their loved one. So it's optimistic, but what do you think
Yeah.
about it?
I think that they are kind of limiting themselves because Grindr is a hookup app at its
Yeah.
core. But I mean, if that's what you're looking for, put it out there. They're definitely looking for something meaningful. But all the guys on there, I think he's probably going to scare a lot of them away.
Yeah,
What do
it
you
begs the
think?
question, can someone be looking for something meaningful and want to hook up tonight?
I think that was what the first one was. Uh, th- what was the first? How did the first one
The
go?
very first one
Yes.
was looking for friends open to more.
Yeah, I
Why does
think
that
that's
one resonate more than looking for something meaningful? Is like, What's the meaning of life, Cody? Episode
I,
one.
I'm looking for the Dalai Lama.
That's our other show that we had for a while. By the way, you can
Yeah.
always, it was not an open-ended series. It had a beginning and an end, and it was called Of a Certain Age. You can find it wherever you get your podcast. And those were questions practically we were asking on that episode or those series, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was it was a great deep dive. So
Yeah.
maybe he should go listen to that before he goes on Grinder.
Yeah, right. And lastly, round six, when somebody simply writes can't host,
Oh, that's
they're
me.
cheap ass, they're dirty at home, they live with too many roommates. I don't
That's me.
know.
That part, that the last
Okay,
part, live
well,
with too many roommates.
I know, so judgy, right? They live with their
Or
mom.
they live with their husband and they don't
Yeah,
want their husband to know.
right. I
They're
mean,
cheating.
oftentimes people travel and use Grinder, and a lot of people might put this because maybe they're traveling with their family or a
Yeah.
sibling or an aunt, and it wouldn't be really convenient to have a hookup come over. So, but I would write that traveling with a friend can't host. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, more context is is better probably, but if they can't host, they can't host. That's all I need to know.
yeah. And a couple quickies, just one word. I mean, are you still seeing on their mask for mask or
Oh,
please be
yes.
normal?
Uh, no. I have never seen Please Be Normal. That would take me out. They would get blocked immediately.
Okay, good. Then, not looking currently. Have you seen that lately?
I've written that before. I haven't seen it lately though. I haven't been on a lot, honestly.
That's true. You have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We'll have to do another edition of this because this was fun. Let
Totally.
us know what profiles you're seeing out there. We're staying, though, in our sex talk right now because we're talking about grinder profiles and a hot gay sex summer, right? Hot boy summer.
Woo-woo.
Well, apparently, there's some gay men are tired of all this. No gay sex weekend. Oh, I just read this today. It's a viral post about a real life organization in England. It began last year. Recently, they held an event in Bristol, the No Gay Sex Weekend, and it exploded online just this past weekend. The premise is essentially gay men spending time together, specifically without sex being the objective. Its founder says gay life can feel hyper sexualized and that removing that expectation can allow people to form different kinds of relationships. And the response online has been pretty hilarious, as you can imagine, because people immediately sexualize the no sex weekend, which of course is very gay, right? But underneath all the jokes is kind of something interesting, Cody. Why did this idea resonate with so many people? This is a real organization, Cody, that is
Really?
out there, and they go on trips they interviewed the creator of it, and he said that in the past he's been in sports activities, gay volleyball. And although it was a common interest, people inevitably, including this person that created the group, have hooked up with various teammates. So they're not opposed to sex. They're not saying that they want to be celibate. It's nothing like
Mm.
that. They are going more towards to connection. And they think that perhaps we've hypersexualized meetups, trips. I mean, are gay men actually exhausted by hookup culture based on what we were just talking about, Cody?
I mean, I'm sure some people are, and I definitely see like the benefits of having a no sex weekend because it really allows you to focus in on connecting. So I think that is the benefit of it. I don't know if I would be down for this though. I don't know. It
I
just
don't
seems like,
Again, it
yeah,
rubs me the wrong way. I would
really.
never. Yeah, because, one of our co-hosts, Sebastian Lacaze, is celibate, has been
Hmm.
for a while,
Yep.
and talks openly about that, and yet participates in our Talk About Gay Sex podcast all the time and can
Yeah.
talk openly about sex. And I don't like when there's roadblocks or don't do this or we're a, I think people that choose to be sober, celibate, it's their choice, but then I don't think that they should then put blocks on what you can and cannot do. I just think,
Yeah.
aren't we all adults, and can't everybody, if I was really wanting to practice my celibacy, I would not turn down a trip with all gay men. I would just say, oh, yeah, I'm not currently doing that. And I would find fun with the crew. And if people were hooking up, now it does bring up an interesting topic because you're about to go on the upcoming Rush,
Yes, I am.
ru5h.com Rush. It's our friends, and I'm in some of the promos, if you noticed on their
Hey,
website.
hey,
It's going to
yes,
be a very cool people that identify as men upcoming trip October 2nd through the 5th, goes leaves out of Florida, goes to the Bahamas, and it's a sex positive, sex progressive trip that they're going to have
yes.
all kinds of ways to express yourself. There's going to be nude sun decks, there's going to be, you can learn about sexuality, you can play, it's going to be a whole fun. I would not practice my celibacy, and that would be really hard, I think, and go on this
Definitely not.
particular trip. But what do you say to that, your upcoming trip, and what this organization is doing?
I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this trip and to explore more sexually. I think I've been doing a lot this summer and I can't wait to go. And thank you to
Our
Rush for
friends, yeah.
inviting me. Thank you to our friends at Rush because it is going to be a trip to remember for sure. I, so this is like the antithesis of the no sex weekend kind of sort of, which I mean, I see. First of all, I kind of want to push back on the whole. I don't think they're trying to force people not to have sex. I think that when you volunteer to go on a trip like this, you know in the back of your mind and you want to be celibate. And again, that's not necessarily for us. I would just have to be in a specific mindset to go on a trip like that. I am more aligned with going on the Rush cruise because it's going to be somewhere where there are like-minded people that I can go and just let it all hang loose and really just go out there and be myself and be free sexually. So it's something that I can't wait to do. I've never been on a cruise before, so I can't wait to naked sunbathe, which I think is going to be so fantastic.
Yeah.
And just express myself and be free. So I can't
Yeah,
wait.
I mean, I do think, because we've been talking recently about, there's a brand new initiative by certain political figures here in New York and
Mhm.
also in San Francisco, I think successfully, for reinstituting the bathhouse and the bathhouse scene. And we just did a whole new story. Potentially, if it goes through, there could be a 10,000 square foot bathhouse that would erect here in, hopefully, New York City. There, we've talked about the integration of the dark room, the reintegration of the dark room in the last several years. We talk about how, why some of those laws were around, and they all had to do with HIV, stigmatizing it, right?
Mhm.
That's why they got
100%.
rid of these places. And our sexuality, our gay sex is, again, in my opinion, our superpower in many ways. And I just did this whole article on Substack, my new Substack, at the Naked Truth Steve, which you can grab a free tier or a paid one. Either way, I see you. I love it. And I'm having so much fun with it, about the early years of going to or excuse me, it wasn't gay gymnastic camp. It was just gymnastic camp. I wanted it to be gay and I wanted to explore with the other gymnasts. And it was torturous to me. And all those younger years of being in school and having all these crushes on fellow
Mhm.
gymnasts and schoolmates, and couldn't do anything about it. It was the secret I had to keep pushing internally. And how finally, when we, at least for me in my 20s, I was able to not come out to everybody, but at least to myself and a few close friends. And I got to finally, in my 20s, explore freely my sexuality. And it's a part of many of us gay men. Is there an overemphasis in some people's minds sometimes on sex, that we're hypersexualized? Perhaps. I don't know. One could argue that. But I don't know that a trip that it almost, in my mind, demonizes gay sex and sex, something that we fought so hard to have. And it's not like, I'll use another cruise that I've been on several times, Vakaya. They have a red light district that they have put erected, again, I love that word, that is on, they often turn a basketball court on the top tier level of the cruise, or they get really creative, right? And they've got great lighting, and it's basically a play space that's open for all that are on the cruise, if you want, keyword, if you want to. And they even write in their programming that you can be a voyeur, just be respectful, right? And but for those that are not into it, for those that are in monogamous couples, they, if they don't want to, they don't have to go to deck whatever 11 and partake in that. I don't want to see that, Valerie Cherish. So it's available to those. Even I think the cruise you're going to go on, Rush, there are going to be places you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You could be a
Yes,
voyeur.
exactly. Consent is key. And that's
Yeah,
something that,
labeling a trip that is the no gay sex weekend again rubs me the wrong way, and it almost makes it seem like there is something wrong with gay sex to me. What do you say to all that?
well, I don't really think they're villainizing it. I would love to pick their brain, honestly, to see where they're coming from with this, why this is even a thing, where did this concept even come from, as far as making this a whole trip dedicated to not having sex. I, for me, it looks like people that have been uh, over sexualized. They feel like the whole gay culture is just all about sex, which I understand and I get it. I feel like there are things about gay culture that definitely hone in on sex and kind of glorify it. So I think that maybe people get burnt out on that. Maybe there are times when you don't want to focus on sex. So I definitely see the value in it, but I definitely want to know, like, are they villainizing it? Where would they like for this to go, as far as when they have these meetings and these groups, and what do they want to get out of it? So I would love to have them on. What would you say about that?
I feel like it would be one of those controversial interviews where I would be pressing them a little bit, but sure,
That's okay,
if you
Baba.
want to reach out to them and get them on a show like ours and tell them what our show's all about, and they agree, I would love to have them on. Of course, I want to have,
Nice.
yeah,
Okay, I'll do the
absolutely,
legwork.
do the
Got you.
legwork on that one. Yeah, I, I mean, it brings up the notion that what if, you know, the picture showed their last trip and it was a hefty sized crew of gay men all together that looked like they were having a great time for a group pick, and people obviously signed up for this thing. What if what are the rules though if somebody does have a connection, and is half the fun
Ooh.
sneaking away because knowing that you went to the no gay sex weekend
Yeah.
and you can't, and now the fun is finding a place that we can sneak away to have a quick blowjob, hookup,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I I think that overall, Vale, I think, we talk a lot about connection. We've talked a lot with Lincoln about really finding connection. We just did a whole show about heated rivalry and what's behind the doors of heated rivalry. Why are so many women and gay men? Of course, it's the hotness, but at the end of the day, it's yearning, right? And we talked about how we're all yearning for something. So, sex often is to me, the term that gets the bad rap, right? We've been demonized. If you grew up like I did, a Catholic schoolboy, sex was no, 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 don't talk about that. Didn't get any gay sex history or gay sex knowledge. It was sex ed for heterosexuals, and it was demonized, right? And then HIV came out and weaponized by the AIDS epidemic. So I think that we, why sex can be some, it's fun. When Madonna had the sex book, she was demonized for that back in the 90s. Now she's kind of praised as a pioneer because of course times have changed. It almost seems like gay men putting together an organization and they're allowed to do it seems a little backward. Like, why can't gay men just be adults and have a common interest and go put together a very connected weekend and do they didn't say anything about what they actually do on these trips. Like if it's hiking, okay, great, but do they do workshops? Is it trying to be a better person? It's the title alone just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I hear you. I I don't necessarily see it that way. And I think honestly, you're thinking about sneaking off and hooking up. Like you're definitely not built for something like this. That was
Yeah.
so devilish. I love it though. But I am not. I don't see that they're villainizing it. But I do understand where you're coming from because we have had to hide and not express ourselves sexually for such a long time. So why would you want to go back to that? But no, I understand that. So I think that maybe it's one extreme on it goes from one extreme to another, and I think maybe like the whole rubber band theory to where you go out so far to the left and then it kind of has to bounce back a little bit. Hopefully we can
Yeah.
find a nice happy medium to where we can all just coexist and be our true gay selves. So yeah, I like being a little hypersexual though.
Yeah, and I don't even think you have to be hypersexual. I just think you can just I think what we were talking about earlier about the profiles on Grindr and how it can be taken by language. I
Mhm.
think, you know, there's this great author, a professor, he has a podcast, Scott Galloway. Lincoln talks about him a lot, and he's really doing a lot of work to bridge young straight men to getting off their phones, getting back to dating, meeting people, and talking, right? There's another guy that has the Mingle Project. We've become a state where we don't talk to our neighbors anymore. And if it was something like that, where the language was changed, where I love that word connection, we use it a lot on this show. If it was like connected gay men's weekend, of course, people would might assume it's gay. You could write in your byline, focusing more on connecting with various types of exercises, workshops, connecting with your fellow gay man. I would love that. Again, it's
Yeah,
terminology. The No Gay Sex Weekend, which says it in the title, is just like, okay, we get it. It's just like,
I hear
won't
you.
have any gay sex. And also, and it's
If you don't want to
called
have gay
the
sex, you don't
that
have to.
what's that?
I said, if you don't want to have gay sex, you don't have to.
Yeah. And it is called that, right? The
Yeah,
no gay se- is it called the no gay sex?
yeah, that's what I thought.
Let me just check out really quick. No gay sex weekend. Okay. No sex weekend for gay men. I don't know. It's just gay sex is in our title of our show, and we celebrate it. And to say no in front of that, no way. Not on my weekend, honey. So in every way, structurally, I don't like it. But try and get them on the show. We'll see
Yeah.
if they can convince me. Um, it does bring up, though, we were talking about, remember Goose, the fairly new controversial dating app that came out earlier this summer, actually in June. And when the lead guy that brought it out has stepped away from it because they were using AI. Goose is
Yes.
interesting because it sells almost the opposite philosophy from Grindr, right? It encourages people to kind of discover each other through shared places, interests, and friends, kind of like what these people are. I guess Duck Duck Goose, is that what we're getting from it? That's why they
I
named that You're
suppose.
It,
I have no idea
perhaps?
where it came from.
That's all I can think of. Did you ever play that game, Duck Duck Goose, when you were a
Oh, yeah,
kid?
all the
Yeah,
time.
right. And You're It, maybe can I've chosen you to connect with. I'm assuming it's definitely different from No Gay Sex Weekend, but it's caused a lot of waves. Its community guidelines are also sex positive rather than anti sex, though. Flirting is allowed, they say on the app, but explicit public content isn't. And sexual conversations are supposed to begin with affirmative consent. So
Okay.
I guess the question, are we watching gay apps swing away from what are you into toward who are you?
I mean, I don't think so because this is going under.
Yeah, I think
So
it is.
I think,
And you
well,
say that
that's
because of the
Bec-
controversy, correct?
exactly, of all
And
the
the bad
controversy that's going
ratings.
on now. Yeah, exactly. So maybe, and then we had what was it, Archer, that
Yes.
They were only a thing for they went under not too long ago. So
Right.
maybe this isn't sustainable. Maybe this is something that we say that we want, but actually that's not the case because maybe we are ashamed of our sex at this point in this juncture in time. So again, everything comes in waves. So this might be our time to kind of be more demure.
Maybe, but it's interesting because when you talk about where we're at currently, and I love looking at a glance at sociology, right, of
Yeah.
our community, and in many ways you could argue both are happening at the same time because we mentioned that we're seeing a lot more sex spaces open and opportunities to connect, and
Yes.
there's plenty of people, from heated rivalry to a huge potential bathhouse to Rush, the Cruise. There's a plenty of sex progressiveness happening in conjunction with things like Goose, although going under, like we talked about, the No Gay Sex Weekend. And then there's something in between, which we kind of talk about a lot, which I think is connection. And connection to me means a lot of things. It's connecting with a partner, finding a connected partner, but through my friendships, I feel like I have some of the best friendships now that I connect with. And it's not plentiful as much as it's really a core group of people, like less is more. And
Yes.
then I would say with sex, it's exploring, but having connected sex, right? Finding ways through my partnership to have more meaningful connected sex. And we have these conversations, my husband and I, all the time on how we can enrich that. So for me, it's connection, but in all the various capacities of what that word means, and embracing sexuality along with just connected, meaningful, soulful relationships.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think that that's something that maybe they should try and incorporate because at the end of the day, connection and meaningful relationships and as well as sex, all those go hand in hand into being a complete human being. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I really believe that we're seeing both kind of happen at the same time. I guess it's a great time to be gay in many ways, right? Through
Yeah, definitely.
Because
You can pick your own adventure
you can pick your
as
own
gay.
adventure, but I think the ones that maybe are on, I just because of course we're a sex progressive show here, I lean towards provide these spaces for people to explore and then give people the tools through, like my good friend Will of Tantric Fitness, to explore sexuality, to elongate your connected sexual experiences. And I like, if this isn't for you, you don't have to partake in any of these things. Like I want
Yeah,
more of those
totally.
spaces, but when you label things like no gay sex or goose, no to don't do this, it's like we're grabbing the wrist and we're putting that age old shame. And I really feel like connection, the word to me means so much more that embraces it all. And just pick where you're at currently in life and explore that path that means something to you without putting down another group or for what they are experiencing. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. I totally hear you.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Wow, we did pretty well on that conversation, I think. It was fun. And let us know what you think of the No Gay Sex Weekend. Where are you on that? Would you attend that? Or would you attend a Rush trip that Cody's going to be on October 2nd through
Ooh,
5th? Go to
can't wait.
ru5h.com, rush.com. And with that, let's continue the conversation over on our Tags Patreon community. Go to patreon.com/tags podcast. And with that, let's get into hot topics, Cody. There are some doozies out here, and we've got to talk about them. This was some sad news. Many of you may know him when gay adult performer Christian Stiles died sadly at 29. The gay VN winner was a successful adult performer who made a name for himself on OnlyFans. Christian Style, the stage name of Zachary Christian Jacob, died. He was 29. He passed away suddenly on August 20th, according to an obituary published by his family. There is no cause of death made public at the time, and he is being, I don't know. Did you know him, Cody?
No, I wasn't really familiar with his work, but I mean, it's super sad, and my heart goes out to his family for sure.
When this show comes out, his family is holding a visitation at the Basilica of St. Mary Antiochian Orthodox Church in Livonia, Michigan, Tuesday, August 25th, so people can pay their respects from 10 to 11. The burial will follow afterwards at Glen Eden Memorial Park. Rest in peace, Christian Styles.
Yes,
Yeah, I
rest in
know. It's
peace.
always sad when you hear of somebody gone way too soon that,
29 is so young. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. This is interesting. What is doppelbanger? Do you know what it is before I get on to it?
Well, it sounds like when you hook up with somebody that looks just like you.
Oh my God, you're so right. Wow,
Yeah,
you are good.
I try.
That is exactly. Experts say there really isn't anything to worry about. It's not toxic like a lot of the things we've talked about: benching, banksing, pocketing, doppelbanging isn't really considered that, but it is the idea. It's a fun uh, term that describes, you're right, going for somebody that looks kind of like you, dating somebody that looks like you. Two men with the same haircut look like they match, whereas a man and a woman with the same face simply appear as a couple. But it can happen in straight couples too. And but as I mentioned, if you're attracted to someone for any reason, including that they look like you, that's valid and you should be able to have sex with or date them, says Zachary Zane, who's been on our show. And I
Nice.
don't think there's anything, somebody else said it's not toxic inherently, but it's used with hostility to describe narcissistic sexual pursuits of queer people. Freud actually wrote about his theory of some homosexuality as a mirror of the self. It's an old accusation against homosexuality, rebranded by queer people themselves. In fact, dating someone who resembles is not toxic, but the way people use the term can be. Yeah, I would want to immediately use it as toxic because,
Oh
I
yeah.
always go there because I just think, and we've all seen those couples out there that look just strikingly like they could be someone's brother or twin brother. And I mean, I've never really been attracted to somebody that looks like me at all, other than maybe they had the same skin tone ish,
Uh-huh.
but that was it. And I find it a little cringy when I scroll. I'm just gonna be honest, when I see a couple that looks strikingly the same,
Yeah.
and it's also used, Cody, that with trends and gay men trends, the beard trend, it can lead to that pathway. What do you say to this?
I um I think it rides a fine line of definitely it's definitely a little cringy, especially when that's the only type of person that a certain person goes for. Like, what are you trying to work through over there? So I as long as you can see their dating history that they date all types of people, then I can be okay with it. But I don't know, it's still kind of it throws me off just a little bit because it's like not really incestual, but it's on the surface it's a little bit it's just a little cringy because you're like, oh, would you only date somebody that looks like you? Do you like looking in a mirror when you have sex? I don't know. What's this going on? Is this too narcissistic? So I don't know. But yeah, I think it's just a little cringy.
Yeah, it's a little cringy to me too. I mean, if you like who you like, I do believe in that last thing I was saying, that there are certain trends that occur, like a certain type of haircut that everybody is doing at the moment, right? And
The
then there's the
mustache thing for the
yeah,
hipsters.
I remember that. Like, I even participated in it for a minute. Diego did not, by all means, but where you have that, it's like a soccer player trend where you kind of grow the tail of the back of your hair out a little bit,
Yeah.
and I participated in that trend, and so I mean, if two gay men are following the trends and happen to kind of resemble each other, because that okay, fine, that's okay, I think. Still a little cringy. And I admitted I went for the trend, although Diego did not. So if we were both doing it, I would be like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do it then. He's not a trendy guy. So we're not guilty of that. But, you know, yeah, interesting. Let us know how you weigh in on that. And lastly, before we get into advice, Sam Smith has a new album coming out, and he opened up about coming out as non binary and falling in love. That's kind of cool that he sat down for a lengthy. He said, the whole time I've always been non binary. He's 34, reflecting on the period following the release of their May 2014 debut, In the Lonely Hour, which was released when they were only 22. It's also always been who I am. I found the vocabulary for that when I was like 27. His new album, Hazel Eyes, was released August 21st. He came out, and so, yeah, so this is exciting for him. He also mentioned, and I think it's the same interview, that Madonna, he calls her mother, was such an inspiration to him when he had that duet with Kim Petras, and the song went to number one,
Hmm.
and it was about the devil. I forget. Do you remember the name of the song?
Unholy. Unholy.
Unholy. And he performed this with Kim at an award show, and he said that ended up winning the award for best duo, and the song went to number one. But then shortly after that, he was walking in Central Park, and a woman shouted out to him, "Groomer," and he got so much homophobic language online and everywhere else. And that's when Madonna, who introduced them performing that night, she also then reached back out and said, she gave her words of wisdom and said, don't listen to the bullshit. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, great interview. It's on Apple Music's Zane Lowe interview. What do you say to this?
Oh no, I think that it's great that he's coming out with music and finally being open and he's able to be himself. I love Sam Smith. I was kind of on the fence with him in the beginning, but I feel like he's come more into being very authentic and really singing things about how he really feels. And Unholy was a bop, so I'm glad that
Yes.
it
Remember the
won.
remixes too?
So good, so good. I and that I it surprises me that he's getting a lot of hate. And being called a groomer is totally ridiculous. They need to look at a lot of other people that are grooming out there in the world and stop
Yeah.
looking so much at our community. But I just am so happy for him. I can't wait to hear this music.
Yeah, I think, you mentioned you were kind of on the fence early on, and I was too, and I think I'm there now, and I'll give a listen to this new album because I think we've been talking about it all so long. Gay men, we take a minute to find out who we are and to settle in because why? We didn't have opportunities, open doors for us to express ourselves with our sexuality. And or how we identify, right? And so with that, maybe that was reflected in the early music. Because if you're not, as you know, you're about to come up with a new single and you have music out
Hmm.
there, it's about being authentic and relatable and being real. If you aren't truly there with yourself, maybe it's not going to transmit to audiences, right? And so
Yeah,
he seems like he's fully a work in progress, but like we all are, but fleshing himself out in real time more than ever. And it's probably going to produce, hopefully, really good work and
I can't wait.
art. Yeah. And
Yeah.
on that fun note, I texted you, we were at the New York Eagle the other day, and speaking of another gay music current icon, Adam Lambert was at the Eagle,
Whoop, whoop.
all
We love
6 foot. I
him.
want to say he was 6'3". I don't know, so tall, and he seemed. We saw him from a few feet away, and he was kind of walking through the crowd, busy crowd, and was super lovely. People were coming up to him. They weren't like hounding him because it was the
Yeah.
eagle, right? But, you know, I'm sure he seemed lovely. He seemed like he was talking to everybody. He was in good spirits. He has a current album out. I heard the first single. It's really good. And I don't know. It's kind of a cool, fun star sighting, right?
We love Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
He just seems really down to earth, and his voice is insane. So
Yeah.
I wish I was there, but I wasn't there. So, but good for you, I guess. I'm just joking.
You know, FOMO, but it was really good. I wish I could be at Rush, but you'll be there and you're going to
Oh yeah,
represent the
that's true.
spirit.
You know
So,
how to cheer me up, don't
you
you?
know, I do from afar.
From afar.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. We love giving advice. And by the way, we are always here for you. We'll give our handles at the end of the show or go to tagspodcast.com. Email us via the website. Better yet, go to our Patreon community. Ask us for sex and relationship advice. You see, we can mix the two. We don't have no problem of
Yeah,
doing
there we
both.
go. We're
This one
well
comes,
rounded here, well
we're
versed.
well-rounded gays. Yes. Making up for the comment I made earlier about pushing that guy out of the taxi cab practically. Oh my goodness. Advice. This one wrote on Reddit, transitioning from hookup to friendship. I got to know a very nice man at a bathhouse about 2 years ago. He fucked me and then gave me his phone number. I texted him and I went to his house and played with him and his husband a few times. As we got together more and did non sex stuff, so then they started hanging out, right? Remember, we were talking about this
Oh yeah,
when a hookup can turn to friendship. So they would have dinners, movies. We started knowing each other better and formed a friendship. The hooking up faded, and the last time we had sex, which I initiated, was more than 6 months ago. I felt like they were sending me signals that they want to wind down the sex because it felt like they were just performing and not really into it. I take it that it is just a normal evolution of a gay friendship. You start by hooking up, and then as you know each other more, the sexual part fades. Is this the same for many other gay friendships? I mean, it can happen. I don't think it's
yeah,
the rule.
yeah. It's
And
definitely there's no hard and fast rule. I feel. What were you gonna say?
that basically that there's no
Oh,
hard and fast rule, and that basically, yeah, I can think of a friend of mine that I have hooked up that lives in my building, like before I met Diego, and then then we became friends. So been invited to a lot of parties. Then we got invited to a party once and it got a little frisky, and I think Diego played with him a little bit. I think you played with him a little bit. Then there's been
I
other
was
times
waiting
where,
for that.
okay, and then
Definitely was waiting for
but then I've
that.
just hung out with him. I mean, we are of this around the same age, and I think we have a maturity level about it that can handle it. Ultimately, we are good neighbors and good friends, and that's what we take away with.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any like hard rule on this will happen again, this won't happen again. I think we just don't spend a lot of time thinking about that, and we're it's healthy. I mean, I feel like it's
yeah.
healthy, and I'm sure he does too. What do you say to all this?
No, this is definitely something that happens in the gay community. I mean, it's happened to us. So,
Yeah,
and I knew as soon as who you were talking about when you started
right.
talking about it, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's one friend that I have that I've hooked up
Confessions
with.
on the
So
podcast.
there it is, right there. It's every podcast, literally.
Right.
But he's super nice, and like you said, very mature, and I think as long as we don't go into it with a lot of preconceived notions or expectations and just kind of keep it casual, but try and maintain a connection on a friendship level, I think everything's going to work out. And I think that, like, that's what this person needs to do, like, focus on the friendship and less on the sex part, because the sex happens and it happens, and you don't read too much into it or try to take too much out of it, because this person has a partner. So unless they come to you with, will you be our third boyfriend, then the sex is probably just sex at that point. So yeah, don't read too
Yeah,
much into
yeah.
it.
Don't read too much into it. And also, it's kind of a beautiful thing because it started out one way, right? And then you got like this friendship out of it, right? You're being
Yeah.
invited to movie night dinners and all that. And got kind of a cool friendship out of it. You
And our
initiated.
friend throws the best parties,
He
so
does the best parties, right? I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's like don't want to give that up, and so
All right.
but it's fluid. It's, I hate to use the word organic when it
Yeah.
happens, and we're not labeling anything. There is no gay sex now in this friendship. It's just we are mature enough as adults to manage our lives, to manage the relationship as it progresses and moves forward, and it's healthy. And I think we need to give ourselves more credit because we can handle all of that, I think. And if you can't handle that, then that is the time to pull back or express
Yes.
yourself or take care of yourself, and that's totally legitimate as well. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Very
so
good. Because I was
that's how
going to
we.
say something similar to that, so I'm glad you said it.
Okay, all right. I read your mind. We're at this
Yeah, I
that
read
point
your mind
now.
before too, so we on the same wavelength.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. This comes to the end of this podcast. So good, Cody.
It's
Who says we
really
can't
good.
do this? Just the two of us. Do it really well. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you can follow my co-host on Instagram and Blue Sky at the same handle. It's at Mr. Maurice. At Mr. Maurice. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. Don't forget about my Substack. Every week there's a new post about diving deeper into a lot of the time. It's always about something that sparked me that I didn't get out, or I extrapolate a little bit more on, I was going to say on paper, but it's on Substack. And it's just a really cool space. And then I do a bi-weekly post, and that one goes deeper into a memoir, but usually I learn something from my past and it gets juicy, and there's stories and just stuff that I don't have time to really get off my chest here in this space, but I love it. And you can go to at the Naked Truth Steve on Substack. Get the link on tagspodcast.com or in show notes. Cody, so good.
Always so good, boo. Thank you.
And in the meantime, continue having hot
gay
sex. Lovely.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.